Hey everybody, here is another meal idea. I am still trying to work my way on down to that medium back, so I decided to cook some baked chicken thighs and brown rice. I am typically not a fan of brown rice because I personally think it tastes like a cardboard box, but if you do it this way, I think you'll enjoy it. I definitely did. So to get started, I do have some chicken thighs that I did clean and trim. I know some people don't clean their chicken. If you don't wash your chicken, that is your preference, but for me, there was feathers, there was grit. I just couldn't cook that chicken like that with a clear conscience, but do what works best for you. And then to get my seasonings going, I have some body of seasoning, some ground black pepper, a little bit of granulated garlic powder, some parsley. I'm going to add some Tony Satchery, and my favorite, which is going to be some celery seed. Now you can use whatever seasoning you prefer if you decide to make it, but I will say definitely season it well. You know, the chicken has been a little bit on the bigger side, so if you're lightly seasoning, that seasoning is not going to penetrate that chicken the way that we need it to do. And we're also creating a broth, so we want this to be very flavorful. Once each side has been seasoned, well, once you've used all of your seasonings, you're going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. And then once both sides have been seasoned, I melted a half a stick of butter and I went and just put it right in the pan. You're going to use this butter as a way to, help get that seasoning all throughout your chicken. Like I said, we want to make sure everything is nice and flavorful. Mixing it up also helps to get it up under that skin. And then that butter is going to help us with creating a crispy skin later on in the process. I wanted to add a few vegetables in here, so I just did like some big chops on these mini peppers. I did clip the tip and then I took the seeds out just to keep everything nice and clean. You can do however many you prefer. I just did a few of them, and then I also added a medium onion that I peeled and rough chopped, as well as some carrots. Now you don't want to cut your vegetables too small because this process is going to take a couple of hours, and if they're too little, they're just basically going to disintegrate into everything. So we still want them to have some bite, a little bit of texture, and still be able to hold their form. So I will not recommend cutting your vegetables too small. I like using the whole carrots because you can make the sizes the way that you want. You can use baby carrots if you want to save time, but I didn't mind just doing some fun little cuts on the carrots, and I think it makes a great presentation as well. Once I finished cutting up my vegetables, I just positioned them in the pot around my chicken thighs. You are going to bake this covered 350 degrees for 1 hour. After the hour, the chicken is not going to be done. Not for my liking. I don't like fast skin chicken. And what I mean by fast skin chicken is that top skin is real like chewy and slimy. I do not give me fast skin chicken. I need my chicken skin to be nice and rendered down and crispy. But yeah, so about an hour into the cooking process, you're going to take your chicken out of the pan, set it to the side. I have 2 cups of rinsed brown rice. You're going to add that brown rice right on into that pot. Now, if you make this is going to be something you're going to have to eyeball because depending on the amount of chicken that you cook, you may not have as much broth as I have, but you see we have a really nice amount of broth to get started with. So we're going to add that rice. I have 1 can of the Campbell's cream of chicken with herbs, condensed soup. You can add just a regular cream of chicken without the herbs, but this is what they had at the time, and actually it was really good. So I would say if you can find the cream of chicken with fresh herbs, fine. If not, a standard can of cream of chicken is fine. I know some people can do cream of mushroom if that's what you have, but I like the flavor that the cream of chicken provides. So you want to get that in your pot. You want to kind of break it down a little bit in your broth, and then I added about 4 more cups of chicken broth. Now you want to kind of, like I said, you're gonna have to eyeball this depending on how much rice you make, but that liquid needs to probably sit about a good inch, maybe inch and a half above the top level of your rice, just to make sure that we have enough. And brown rice is really stubborn, so this brown rice is going to cook for a little bit. But once I had all of my broth in there, I did add some additional seasoning because that chicken broth will dilute some of the flavor that we created in the initial bake. So, you know, kind of test it a little bit and, you know, add some additional seasonings, just the same seasons that we use for the chicken. And then you're going to add your chicken right back into that broth. And I know you're going to think like, oh no, that chicken's going to still be soggy, but it won't. Just keep watching. Like I said, go ahead and get all of that chicken put in there. And then we're going to put this back in the oven and we're going to cover it. I cooked it for about 90 minutes because, like I said, that brown rice is stubborn, so it takes a little while to break down. But after the 90 minutes, I also took the top off and I broiled it for 5 minutes. I let it sit on the stove for about 10 minutes so everything can, you know, come together. And then once it was done, this is how it looks. Look at that chicken skin. It's nice and brown and crispy. You can tell that the rice is nice and moist. Our vegetables still hold some texture. And look at that chicken. Yep, the rice is nice and moist. It almost reminds you of a risotto. So if you hate brown rice, but you want to eat healthy and you want to, you know, mix it up a little bit, I say go ahead and give this a try. Make sure you're seasoning well, guys, because again, the chicken is a little bit bigger. So we have to make sure that seasoning is penetrating that chicken to the bone. And the brown rice isn't going to help you at all when it comes to Flavor Town. So you have to introduce all the flavors to pretty much the chicken and the rice here. But there is my plate. Beautiful chicken. You can see how tender it is. The meat is already falling off the bone. Carrot has nice texture. The rice is nice and creamy, nice and moist, flavorful. Yes, I can definitely eat this a few times a week, and it also stores well. So here were our leftovers. You can see how the chicken is still holding this nice shape. The rice is moist. But yeah, this was very enjoyable. If you want to try it, let me know. Thanks for watching.